My goodness, Brad, like I say, I'm waiting with bated breath just through the rest of this film. And let's just talk about making that transition from the animation world to real life, because boy, you have done it from what I've seen.
Oh, thank you. I love the medium of film, and when I've been, when I first was making animated films as a kid, I had to figure out what was in a close-up. You were drawing it, but you still had the language of close-ups, medium shots, pans, all that, camera angles. And when I started to have to figure that out, like how was I going to draw this, I started noticing it in live-action films. And I noticed that certain people were constantly getting emotions out of me, whereas other people weren't. And I think the first one that I noticed was Hitchcock, because my parents kept going, "This is Alfred Hitchcock," you know. And I noticed that I was getting chills up my spine regularly with this one guy. And so I started paying attention to other films that I enjoyed and realized there's a reason why certain films you know, consistently capture you. So I wanted to understand that, and this is the first opportunity I've had to work in live action.
Well, I have to say, you know, one of the scenes that we saw is Tom Cruise on the top of that building, you know, tallest building in the world, pretty well. I was so intensely, my heart was beating out of my chest. Honestly, I could not breathe. How, as you as a director, directing him do this stuff, is he insane? Seriously.
He's insane in the best possible way. You know, I like to think that anybody that does this job, all of us are kind of insane, because it's you're telling stories in a very complicated medium to people of all ages. You can't really, you know, if you had that as a job, like you need to figure out something that people, every kind of person will enjoy 2 years from now, you'd go insane. So I think the only way you can approach it is, what would I like to see if I were seeing a movie, and then act from that.
Well, working with Tom, I mean, seriously, is there a better person to work with in the world?
No, I mean, he's a star for a reason, and he truly loves the medium of film, so he was a delight to work with.
What's it like, just, you know, watching his energy? I don't know.
It's hard to keep up with him, definitely, because he just goes and goes. He's like the ever-energizer bunny.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
What ultimately was the biggest challenge for you making this one?
I think the size of it, and the fact that we had a tight schedule, because we had a lot of places to go, but the size of it was huge, and we have more stunts in this movie than I think any of the other missions. And we shot several sequences in IMAX, which is a fantastic but, you know, difficult film process. But the image quality is unbelievable, and the screens, IMAX screens, are like 5 stories high, and you can see every teeny detail in it. So we filmed that sequence on the tallest building in the world in IMAX, and I think that it really is a fun way to watch it.
When you were talking to Tom about doing this, did you, were you at all hesitant? I mean, you're taking on such a huge franchise. I mean, like I say, it's going to be spectacular, but...
Well, JJ already had some horror stories to tell me, so I was ready going in. I mean, JJ had all those kind of moments where, like, really, is he going to slide under that car as it's about to topple over? Okay. You know, so I knew going in that we were doing that, but it still doesn't prepare you for having your movie hanging by a very thin wire a mile off the ground.
Yeah, well, like I say, audiences are in for a major treat from what I've seen. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again closer to opening.
Absolutely.
Take care. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.